Hello, my name is Paige Jessee, and I am running to be elected to the Board of Education for Norwood City Schools. I have always been passionate about education, and I believe that quality public schools have the opportunity to be the great equalizer in society. A little background about myself and why I'm running. I am a mom of two young kiddos who are currently in preschool and second grade. We have lived in Norwood on the west side for just over 10 years. We have loved every bit of our time in Norwood schools. The leadership has always been accessible. Our buildings are full of charm. We've made lovely relationships with other families, and we could not have asked for anything more in the quality, experience, and care from our teachers. Both of our children have truly thrived, and we could not imagine a better place for them to learn and grow. As I said, I've always been passionate about education. I hold a graduate degree in education policy with an emphasis on educational inequality and systems that threaten public education, such as school choice policies and high stakes standardized tests. I've spent the past 10 years serving communities in various ways. I've completed 2 terms of service with AmeriCorps and low income high schools. I've worked with students and families on college access with the admission department at Cincinnati State. I was the director of education at a nonprofit that provides adult education for the GED and ESOL. Currently, I am the assistant director at a community-based nonprofit, which has an early literacy intervention partnership with a local elementary, in addition to other social services. My overall goals as a school board member are to strengthen the relationship between the Board of Education and our educators, improve communication with our community, invest in resources that benefit all students, and advocate at the state level and local level for policies that are in the best interest of our public schools. Over the past year, our teachers have worked harder likely than ever before to keep themselves and our students safe and to provide the best education possible in these challenging times. I want to make sure that our teachers are respected, valued, and empowered, and I believe that this starts with the Board of Education. Teachers are the largest part of our schools, spend the most time with our children, and bear the most responsibility. Teacher satisfaction and morale is one of the highest indicators for student success academically, as well as student growth and social and emotional learning. If we want to have happy, healthy, and prepared children, we need to have happy teachers who have the resources, support, and collaboration that they need. I want our board and administration to work alongside our teachers and staff and to make sure they have a seat and a voice at the table as our district moves into the future. One of my most specific goals as a board member would be to expand our preschool to a full-day sliding scale option. We are so lucky to have a district that has invested in high-quality, half-day preschool that is financially accessible. I'm also excited to see that we have been able to add a Head Start program in the district. I believe our next step is to expand to an option that is full-day preschool beyond the Head Start program. I know there are families in our community who want to attend our quality preschools but are unable to due to work schedules. I want to be able to reach those families. I also very, very firmly believe that the cost for this needs to be sliding scale. The current cost of half-day preschool is incredibly financially accessible, and I am committed to any full-day option being equally as accessible. And the best way to do this is to have it be sliding scale based on household income. The positive long-term effects of early childhood education cannot be overstated, and I know that the more children we are able to serve and the more families we are able to engage, the stronger our schools and community will be. In that same vein, as a board member, I intend to focus on investing our resources, especially related to programming, personnel, etc., equitably to have the biggest impact on the most amount of students. In the same way, I want an expansion of preschool to remain accessible. I do not want to see program expansions that are limited in the number of students it can affect or that will create any potential competition for resources. Lastly, I briefly want to address challenges that may affect our district in particular and public school districts across the state. First, I plan to monitor the changing income demographics in Norwood closely. The rate of economically disadvantaged students in the district has reduced somewhat drastically over the last several years. This has and will potentially continue to impact services from small grants that cover transportation for field trips to federal Title I money, which is for schools with over a 40% economically disadvantaged rate. As the income for the city residents continues to change, which can be seen through the drastic rise in housing costs, that will inevitably impact the district in the coming years. Second, there are a variety of challenges at the state level, from district report cards to high-stakes testing, unconstitutional funding models to school choice policies that further financially hurt public schools, among others. While some of the decision making is out of the hands of a local school board, it is still our responsibility to be informed and to advocate to the legislators as best we can for our schools, and I fully intend to do so as a school board member. In summation, I know that I have the passion and experience to serve our teachers, children, and community. In a time of such heightened opinions and emotions, I want to be able to get out of the political weeds, so to speak, and to really bring folks together around what is truly important, the children in our community. Whether voters have students in our schools or not, we all have a vested interest in caring for the next generation of Norwoodians. If I may quote Stan Karp writing for Rethinking Schools, it took well over 100 years to create a public school system that, for all its flaws, provides free education for all children as a legal right. It took campaigns against child labor, crusades for public taxation, struggles against fear and discrimination directed at immigrants, historic movements for civil rights against legally sanctioned separate and unequal schooling, movements for equal rights and educational access for women, and in more recent decades, sustained drives for the rights of special education students, gay and lesbian students, bilingual students, and Native American students. These campaigns are all unfinished, and the gains they've made are uneven and fragile, but they have made public schools one of the last places where an increasingly diverse and divided population still comes together for a common civic purpose. With that, I hope I have given you a glimpse into who I am, what I believe, and what I hope to do for our district. I would be forever grateful for your vote on November 2nd.